Okay.
This is what entrepreneurs do.
Okay, guys, here we go. 1 sec. All right, we're good. Jump in.
Hey, Dr. Charlie Webb here. You're watching Wake Up with Webb. Living consciously, guys. And you know, I love talking to highly spirited people and people that choose to break through barriers, and individuals that know that they can move through things, that have grit and choose to live on their terms. And I've got a really cool gal here, Helen, and I've had an interesting conversation with her, and we decided to bring her on because she's got a great story. You know, people need to hear good things today. 2020 has been a crazy year, and a lot of us, you know, it was extremely disruptive. For others, we learned a lot about who we are. We learned a lot about values and gratitude, about family and respect our health and so forth. And Helen has had a really interesting transformation, if you will. And she's here because I want to talk about how that started and what transpired her to make such critical changes in her life, and share that with you guys. But also, we're going to do something kind of fun here as we get into this, because as I talked with Helen, we really found some incredible opportunities with the direction she's going. And I think we could have a really enjoyable conversation with that. But we're here to share. And Helen, thank you for being here. And I really do appreciate you being here, taking the time to be here. You've got a great story. And if you would just help people a little bit about some of that, you know, who you are, and then we'll kind of go back to what was the breaking point that you said it's time. And not only did you transform yourself, you transformed a lot of lives.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to be here with you guys. I know when we met this week, I loved your energy, and so I appreciate, you know, you. But yeah, so I'm Helen Costa Giles. I think I'm 42. Last time I checked.
I know we forget after the age of 40.
Yeah. Like I have to do the math sometimes. I have 2 boys. They're 10 and 7 right now, and a husband who works crazy shift hours. So I'm home full time with a couple of home businesses. So it's been a really interesting year. For me, 2014 was like a very pivotal point. And I used to have a corporate job, recently, but in my corporate job, every year I go and get a wellness check, right? And every year I went to get my wellness check, you know, the doctors be like, Helen, you're overweight, you're obese, you know, here's 1,000 calories, here's some phentermine, go lose weight, right? Every year. And then in 2014, I went and I got called back, and I got called back to the doctor's office, and I had never done that before. And he just basically told me I was headed down a road of chronic health issues. And he showed me my numbers, and they were more scarier than what the scale said at the time. I was 220 pounds. I'm 5'0".
So come again, you're 5 foot and you were 220 pounds.
220 pounds. Yeah. And my blood test just showed up like I was borderline diabetes, my cholesterol, everything was out of whack. Like,
so you're like 36 years old.
Yeah, really out of whack. And I freaked out because I said these, and I don't know the numbers, right? I don't know these numbers, but he's telling me what they mean. And I'm like, oh, I got it. My grandfather, my mom, they're all like hypertension, all these. And he's like, honey, and he said the best thing to me. He like kicked me in the stomach, basically. He said, honey, these are not hereditary diseases. He's like, it's food related, so go fix it. And like that, he made me responsible for my situation so quickly. And so I left mad. I was so mad, not at him, but at me, because I'm like looking at these numbers. I know what these diseases do to people because I have a family, you know, who suffers from them. And I have 2 little boys at home who watch everything I do. So when the doctor said that I didn't inherit these diseases, the only thing I inherited was poor eating habits. And then I kept thinking, well, if I inherited it, what are these 2 little guys going to inherit? So that was my that's it moment. I took the paperwork.
Do you have a picture?
Picture?
Of you when this started, when you were 220 pounds?
It's funny. I have like a big 4-foot one in my garage, but I don't have one in my here.
I have one here.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys can see this or not.
Oh yeah, that's the big 4-foot. Yeah. There you go.
Okay, I mean, I love that comparison because you look like a superhero, the new you look all
That's
buff and
cool.
everything. You look like you're on the
Yeah.
front of the fitness magazine. But, and
Yeah.
it takes courage to show this, by the way.
Yeah.
But you're impacting people's lives. I have a curious question.
Yeah.
So here you are, 5 foot, 220 pounds, which we know from what you just described, it's not just about vanity, it's about life.
Mhm.
You were in bad shape. But did you change because you were tired of being that heavy, or did you change because the lab said you're in trouble? Or was it a combination?
I was an athlete most of my life, and I'd been heavier probably the last decade, right? Probably since I met my husband, right? You fall in love, then you fall in love around food. And so, but I'm a very happy person, but I was one of those people who, I never showed anybody my insecurities about my weight. I certainly did, right? Like,
We're freezing up here.
Lost you.
Does she
it
have?
really that somebody made me.
Hey, take a pause real quick. Hang on a
Yeah.
second. We keep losing you. Is there something she can shut on her side?
It's just her internet, so we just
I guess it's just your internet. I don't know if closing tabs, if you have anything else open.
No, I don't have anything open.
We'll just get through it. It's just
Yeah.
the speed, I guess, on that side.
Yeah, maybe. Sorry.
We didn't have the challenge the other day.
Yeah, no, I know it's weird because no. I think my kids are.
Let's push through it. We'll push through it. Continue.
Okay. Yeah. So anyways, I think for me, it's because he just made me responsible. It was the first time somebody had said, like, he basically just said, fix it. And instead of me, when somebody wants to lose weight, you constantly are deciding that you want to do it, right? We all make the decision in our head that we're going to do something every Monday, every month, but no one ever takes action because it's scary. But then all I kept thinking was that if I don't make a change, then, what was my life going to look like 5 years from now? What were my sons going to look like 5 years from now? And that's all I kept thinking about. And so I went all in because like, it was me. I was the.
Okay. So you were told by a physician, go fix it. So there wasn't any coaching. There was no mentoring. The physician called you to the carpet, called you out, which is the right thing. What I don't like when I see that is, well, why don't you help her? I mean, you're the mentor, you're the teacher, you're the doctor. And I know it didn't happen a lot, but thank God we've got a ton of doctors out there and a lot of them that work with us that would have totally put things together for you. But anyway, at least he had the courage to say, hey, you need to fix this.
Yeah.
So without having a lot of knowledge, you took this up on your own, and you started working out whenever you had available because you're busy. And I think your workout time, if I remember right, 4 a.m, something like that.
Yeah.
So you turn the garage into a gym.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like 3/4 gym and 1/4 wood shop right now.
Okay. So your husband gets a quarter of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's my wood shop.
Oh, it's your wood shop. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. We both
Okay.
share. We share. Yeah.
So what happened?
Well, when I finally made the change, right? What I did is I went online, I started looking at clean eating, I started learning about meal prepping, started researching a little bit more about nutrition, started intermittent fasting. So I started really focusing on my relationship with food and myself first. That was the biggest thing, right? And I started to do, I started to use some like meal replacement shakes, smoothies to make it easier because I was a busy mom. I was corporate, I was traveling, I was gone 2 weeks out of the month. So 2 weeks I'd be like either in Mexico or in another state traveling, and then I'd be home for 2 weeks. So I needed something easy to follow, which is why the whole prepping got in. But after 6-7 months of just focusing on, my relationship with myself, because you don't get to that situation with the right mindset. You just don't. Like there's
right.
so much inner work that had to get done. And I had spent a decade yo-yo dieting, but that was the one piece I missed. And I know one of my amazing friends who I'd met at the time, she's the one who helped me with the mindset part. But fast forward, I started to, pick up the working out part. I had tried to work out at the beginning of 2014, but I went and did a burpee in my living room and I couldn't get up. I had to like roll over, put my hands down on the ground and sit up. And I'm like, I'm done. My fitness thing is, I'm going to work out right now. So as I lost about 60 pounds, I said, I'm going to try it again. And then I tried the burpee, and it was hard, right? Burpees are hard. And I'm like, man, I got to do 10 of these. And so I went on Facebook and I said, hey, I got to work out at 4 o'clock in my morning in my garage. Anybody want to work out with me? And my one neighbor came, and we worked out, and we took pictures, put it on social media. And the people said, hey, what are you doing? We said, we're working out 4 a.m. And then, another person came, and I just realized, I mean, I did it for me. I did it because I needed accountability, right? And what happened is, when I started to realize that more people needed me as much as I needed them, right? They needed that accountability. They needed that energy. I'm super high energy. It's kind of ridiculous how insanely high energy I am at 4 a.m. And I think that attracted more and more people who just came, and we kept posting it. And, people want community, right? They want accountability. And a lot of us thrive off of each other's energy. And I think that's what it became. It became that we really just needed each other. And man, it got so big. I had over 20.
So I'm going to pause you just for a second, because it's an interesting story.
Yeah.
Because out of necessity for yourself,
Mhm.
you've now put yourself in a position, not only did you were going to start whether someone showed up at the garage or not, but you took on this. And the only time that you could make these changes was at 4 a.m. Okay, it is what it is. And you did it. You've got kind of that David Goggins, spirit. People don't know David Goggins, incredible. Can't Hurt Me's his book. I think you said you did read it. Is that right?
No, I just ordered it, but my husband,
Okay,
my husband did. Yeah.
So incredible. But the reason I'm intrigued is, okay, what's going to actually hold me accountable and keep me on this? And does anyone want to work out with me? You didn't hold back on this. You posted yourself, you go on social network, all these things. And what showed up initially was for you personally to become you and all these. And then it turned in to supporting other people, and your heart grew for that. And you started recognizing, as you got these results, I can help people. And so you turned that into somewhat of a business. And this is where I want to jump into a little bit today, because I think case studies are fun. In fact, when I was first getting back into practice, I'd been out for years, and I don't know if you know much of my story, but I ended up losing everything, and I had to come back. And here I was, I think, 43 years old, something like that. And I remember I needed to get in with coaching. I'd been out of the game for 10 years, and I was like, I need to do this right, need the right coaching, so forth. And anyway, I got on this call. It was with a coach. Her name was Laura Langmeyer. Some people can go back and remember who that was. And it was real interesting because Laura, there was probably 7 of us, 10 of us on the call. And she just took one person out of that call, did a case study on them, and boom, there it was. And I went, that's incredible. She's my coach. And so I like doing those things. And to help people, because we've only got so much time, I want to move along a little bit. You've created a business, and you have that started out of your garage, and you train personally in groups. And then you have a lot of people that follow you online, right? And I guess they're from all over, right? Didn't you tell me that they're not just in the States, right?
Yeah.
So they're mostly women?
Mostly women, yeah.
Okay. And so you guys, you're out there, you've become a mentor. And so your lifestyle, now you're empowering other women to have the courage. Many of them probably in the same place you were, 5 foot, 200 pounds. That's the story. That's the person you're going to match up to. And what I found interesting when we talked the other day, you started this out as a free service. And you're growing, but over the last 3 or 4 years or whatever, I started asking, wait a minute, this is intriguing, because as a coach, you have tremendous value. Laura Langmeyer had tremendous value, and there was an exchange of value for me to work with her, which I coughed up right away. I think it was at the time, I think it was $12,000, something like that. And that was, I think, to work with her over so many months or whatever. But you made this statement to me about, I said it was going to be free, so I'm going to keep it free. And so at this point in time, you're changing lives, but as a case study, and I want people to listen in and be free to send their comments in. Are you going to be able to impact more people in this model or less people? And so we started that conversation, and I don't know if you got to think about it at all. What happens when people, the commitment levels and their self-discipline to actually implement what they're given goes up exponentially when they actually invest their hard-earned money, right?
Yeah.
So I know that you had your reasons, but part of it that I kept hearing was, well, I told him it was going to be, so I'm going to keep that. That's called integrity, by the way. There's nothing wrong with that. But what you offered for free is what you're giving. What's the next step? The people, if I'm working with Helen, I love what you're doing, but I really like to dig in more. I don't expect that to be for free.
Yeah. Yeah.
So have you thought about that? How do we take this business to the next level? Because if you're not producing revenue from it, can you expand the people that work with you, bring on more trainers? Can you revise dietary changes, maybe start your own supplement company? I'm looking at this big picture, and the reason I know it's possible for you, big things happen with big stories. You've got the story, you've got the spirit. And so I'm here to say, what's this look like? So I want a little feedback, because we started this and I know that you were a little, I don't know. And so right now I want you to understand you're a nonprofit.
Yeah.
But you're not even that, because there's no funds coming in, right? So a nonprofit, a 501c3, means that you're going to get paid, but somehow or another, someone's got to bring funds into that to support the company. But we're not even a 501c3 at this point.
Yeah, correct.
So tell me your thoughts. And by the way, I'm complimenting you here. I think what you do is extremely a beautiful thing, and I know where your heart is.
Yeah.
But I know that at the same time, to affect this many people, we have to have a profitable business.
Yeah. No, and I agree. And I know when we talked, because a lot of people have asked me why I'm not, monetizing on it. And like like you had said, because I always said it was free. Now at that time it was always physically with me. Like, you come work out with me, it's free. This year we started to go online because of COVID. And it started to be it's a different energy, it's a different type of work, it's a different, it's different than just hanging out with me in my garage and working out. And so I've always toyed with the idea, because I have my own coaching app, because I do coach on the lifestyle side, where I do get, where people do pay to come work with me. And you're right, the people who come work with me, who invest, right? I see much more changes because they're much more accountable to me. With the free group, it's really just a community thing. There's no things, there's no intentions, there's no, like, I'm just going to go work out with you, but they want more, but I don't have a free service go more unless I'm.
So you mentioned a couple of things, and you were right on spot. You had said, you've been on, like CNN, you've been on you had opportunities, and you said, Charlie, I wasn't able to take advantage of those opportunities because I didn't have anything, right? And so here you are, you've got these, and by the way, if on a personal level, you like to have your garage gig, that's just that. If that's your meditation, that's fine. But there's only so many people that you're going to impact in your garage, unless you have a 45,000 square foot garage, right? And then of course, it's still not as impactful as online, right? So I think of people like, I don't remember her last name, Jillian, the personal trainer. Jillian, what's her last name?
I don't know. I know who you're talking about though.
Yeah. But she's a personal trainer, and the reason that she impacts so many lives is because she got known. She promoted herself. Jillian Michaels.
There you go.
Promoted herself. And promotion does take dollars, right? It takes getting out there, production and Facebook ads and all these other kind of things. But as you said, when people invest, and it may be a small investment, It could be a big one. There's different levels. Like if I'm going to work with you, I want to be Superman, right? So I know that there's going to be more time, a higher level course.
Yeah.
It's an equal value, but your reputation is based on success, not what you can provide. So if you have a lot of people working and you're not getting these pre and post lifestyle changes like the one that you have, that pre and post is boom, right?
Yeah.
And we can tell not only is this person changed, you don't look, I couldn't even tell the same person, but your spirit, your confidence, that is what you want other people to go through. And I personally don't see that happening anywhere near the frequency when someone hasn't committed their hard-earned money, and that commitment is into themselves. And so I believe that is the right thing and the right thing to do integrity-wise, because they'll stick with it, they'll stick with you and get the results. Whereas if they don't do it, it's easier to quit when there's no commitment. It's like a marriage.
Yeah.
Do I have a covenant or do I not? And people will have that agreement or that covenant that this is how long I've made that commitment. So now when the results take place, which they do, I know you know what you're doing, and you ask people, here's an interesting question, because I asked my doctors this to ask to their practice members, their patients.
Yeah.
I know you've probably seen this before. So do you have some pretty good case studies, some pretty good results with some people?
I have tons of them. Yeah.
So just think of one and think, and I'm going to ask you this. Have you ever asked them, what was it worth to go through this? Have you ever asked that question before?
Is this one of my paying clients or one of my free people?
It doesn't matter. What's it worth?
I've never asked it. I've never asked that.
So what you will find, if someone did what you did, or even close, and you said, hey, Peggy, now here we are 8 months later, the new you. Let me ask you something. Was it worth the time and effort? Was it worth getting up at 4 a.m? What do you think she's going to say?
She'll say it was worth it. Yeah.
There's not going to be a hesitation.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to say it absolutely was. It was the best thing I ever did. If she was a paying client, if she invested in herself, and let's call that she invested $3,500, just call it $3,500. You invested $3,500, Maggie. I think that's what I call it, Peggy. Yeah. You invested $3,500, Peggy, into this. Let me ask you something. Was that a fair investment? What do you think she's going to say?
Absolutely.
Let me ask you something, Peggy. Tell me when it wouldn't be a fair investment. We know 3,500 was. What about 45? Yes. How about 55, Peggy? Yes. How about 8,000, Peggy? Yes. Let me stop you right there. It's priceless.
Yeah. No, I agree, because like when I hit a certain point, I got into bodybuilding and I hired a coach. I paid a lot of money for him to.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What did you get out of it?
I got knowledge and a transformation that was
okay.
awesome. Yeah.
So did you pay a lot of money, or did you invest for a really good return on your investment?
Oh no, it was an investment.
It was an investment. And I think sometimes for yourself, which is the right thing to start with, for yourself, we see that was an investment, but somehow or another, young entrepreneurs have a tendency to think that they're paying. It's a cost. It's an expense. No. When you empower someone, because you're not selling a product or service, your value is beyond that. You're providing experience and knowledge, and the implication of that knowledge. That means that you are empowering them. The personal trainer, he got paid, or they got paid. But the money that went out of your pocket went into your future because you were empowered. Okay. So that's how I'm seeing this business. And I'd love to get feedback from some of the people watching. Would it be a wise thing for Helen to start to monetize her business, in my opinion, so she can impact whole lot of people, make a name for herself, and start showing other people how it's done. It means there's a lot of women out there. They can also be entrepreneurs. There's a lot of women out there that have ideas like you, but they're afraid to monetize it. There's a lot of people that monetization is going to help you grow, get your promotion up, impact more lives. And when those people are doing that, there's not a better place for people to park their money outside of into themselves. So I'd love feedback because I want you to get it.
Yeah.
You know, it was interesting on my last 2 quarterlies ago, I had a gentleman on here that used to play for the Globetrotters. Melvin Adams, super beautiful human being. And here he is playing professional basketball. I think he's 5'7" or something. I don't remember what he said, 5'7", 5'8". And it was interesting because he would go around the country and he speaks. And so he gets paid for his speaking gig. And a lot of kids and everything learned from him. And I said, Melvin, he said, yeah, Charlie. I said, are you away from home a lot doing that? And he goes, yeah, I'm away from home a lot doing that. And I said, after you impact these people's lives, because he can impact, he's got the spirit about him. And I said, I know your audience, it goes crazy. He goes, yeah, I really love what I do. I said, okay. So what did you offer them when you left? And he goes, what do you mean? I said, outside of just speaking, if you didn't give them an opportunity to train with you, it was just a pump up session.
Yeah.
All it was, I feel good right now. Tomorrow they're back to life. And he realized it. And I said, you should be offering them an opportunity to have further coaching with you, online training, et cetera. And he's like, and so I asked the audience, we've got, I don't know, it was all of our practitioners. There's 300 something people online. And I said, guys, should Melvin actually put together a training program for these young people? All the lights went off. They went off because he was getting paid to speak, and that helped him make a living, but he's trading his time for that.
Mhm.
And then he's walking away with a good fee, but he would have walked away first and foremost. He's going to impact their lives if he offers them an opportunity to move forward. That's first and foremost,
Yeah.
Right? Those people invested in themselves. So when they get the training program, they're committed to doing it. If they get it for free, less than 10% will get 30% through it.
Yeah.
Okay. So now instead of taking a speaking fee of $7,000 or whatever it is, he's selling a program because there's 500 people in the audience, and he walks away selling programs for $220,000. So he's able to expand. He's able to stay at home. He can do this virtual. He can be with his wife and kids. And all those people that walked home, the 150 people that walked home with his training program, now got Melvin for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
So if you guys are out there, give us your thoughts, because I'm going to share it with Helen. So as we go through this case study, is it making sense to you? Or, and again, there's no right or wrong answer. I'm being a coach. Does it still make sense to keep doing what you are? Because I got to tell you this, you're an entrepreneur now, and you've done incredible things. I'm impressed in what you've done for yourself and the way that you're impacting people. I just, to me, see it's time to take the next level and let this greatness come out. Do you see this moving in that direction?
Yeah, no, I agree, because I have a lot of pump up sessions too. I think, like, as soon as you said that, I'm like, yeah, that's me. That's me. And I don't know, maybe I think so many years leading up to now, there was so much ego, but I do want to be able to impact more people. And I know I need to get myself out there more. And I know, like, the core group I have here locally are amazing, but I also know the power of online. And I've drafted up, plans to do it. But there's just been hesitation because of, what I've always said, right? But the online is very different than someone just hanging out with me in my garage, right? It's a different thing. So it's something I'm working on, and I've kind of taken a hiatus the last 3 weeks because I've been living between, the river and here. And that's kind of what's been on my heart. So it was perfect timing you and I spoke, because it's something I've been drafting and thinking about, just trying to figure out the how, like what's really going to be the next move. Am I going to still stay aligned and with what I want to do, right?
So I've got a few people here. Go girl, do it. Yes, I totally agree. So we've got some people here that are rooting for you to make these changes. And so you are going to, you're moving into a different arena that you're not comfortable with, not because you don't have the courage, not because you don't have the knowledge, or not because you don't have the intellect. You don't have the experience. So like anything, if I'm a woman that wants to exercise with you, I'm not confident up front.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I'm going to hire you because you know what I don't.
Yeah.
And you'll help me go to that next stage. So I'm going to highly suggest you find the right coach for you to take you to the next stage.
Yeah.
Because your business will thrive. You have a perfect situation. You have a perfect story. I wouldn't be pushing this like I've been the last time I talked to you and now, if I didn't totally believe in this and believe in you.
Yeah.
I really see this happening. So we talked about some ways to get this started, but first go out to your herd. I'm just going to give you some ideas here. Go to your herd and let them know that you're going to take things to the next level, and you're inviting them before you take it to the public. You're inviting them. Yeah. And you put something together that's going to be the next level of whatever that training looks like. And as you put this together, this online program, once it's put together, then you don't have any more costs. It's done. It's a finished product. And then you can certainly go in live. You can still do live classes. You can still do some one-on-one if you want to get into that. But I would say your initial product, so to speak, would be Helen Next Level, right? And it's all online with group.
Yeah.
So you would go in and train group live. That's going to be you, Q&A, those kind of deals. That would be your next place to go. And that's going to start generating revenue. It's going to start generating reviews. It's going to start getting social media out, because now that I've invested with you and I start getting results, if I've invested with you, I want my friend Teresa to do it with me. I want someone else. And so that's also going to stir other people to come into this program. But if it's free, I might not tell Teresa. Did you understand my point?
Yeah.
So you've got a big herd right now, or decent sized herd, to get it started and get it launched, and then move to the next and let that expand. And then you'll be ready. That you've proven it out, and you've proven yourself that people are totally fine to invest in themselves, and they trust you as that Obi-Wan Kenobi, you're the coach. Then you can look at the next stage. And once you've done that once at the first stage level, going to the next is not hard.
Yeah.
It's just a higher priced program. It's more in-depth program. It's more dug in. Does that make sense?
No, it makes total sense. It makes total sense. And I've worked with a coach a couple of years ago on something like this, but like I said to you earlier, like I wasn't prepared and ready to do anything back then. Like of course I'm different. Who I am today is not who I was 2 years ago, right? Like some opportunities came up to me, but maybe like you had said, whether it be money mindset or even belief in myself, however it inspired years ago, I didn't move forward like I wanted to, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Right.
And the other thing about getting involved, like you'd said, these people are involved because they want community. I know, like when I look at our group and our clients, and they're not all doctors, we have nutritionists, we have personal trainer, we have dietitians. So there's the confidence that comes with everyone in the group. Just like right now, I've got people telling you, do it. We support you, right? You're getting in a group of people that are there because when they see you grow, they grow. They have confidence. When we become that coach, it builds our own confidence. We learn more. So what I would recommend that you do is I'd be happy to like have Danielle just share some ideas with you, some points that we do with our clients, just so you can start thinking of the direction that you could go, what's possible here. I've already started sharing some with you, but I'll just let her know, here's where we are in this, help outline this for her, this path. And in the future, whether, I mean, could we help you? There's a lot of coaches that can help you.
Yeah.
You got to find the one that sits with you,
yeah,
knows where you're going, but thinks big's done it, knows what you help, what you can focus on, what you need to do, what you need to implement to get yourself to be out there. You need to be known. Right now, you're the best kept secret. That's not good for anyone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay. So guys, again, you're watching Wake Up with Webb, and it's about taking the time and energy to think, to live consciously, and to be able to go out into the world and create your future. And Helen has been doing that. And so you represent someone that a lot of people look up to, and you're a leader. So we went through a case study. Hopefully you guys were here the whole time. And if you like doing things like this, I'll continue to bring in people, entrepreneurs at different levels, and show what's that look like to take them to the next level. So we all learn by this, right? And I always learn by coaching. And so it's been a privilege to have you here. I know that your story is going to impact people. I know today it impacts people, but you really need to understand how many lives are out there waiting for you to get out there.
Yes, I know.
So hopefully this helps. I hope it stirs you to say it's time, just like it's time to get in the garage. Okay, now it's time to turn this thing on.
We got,
I'm sorry.
Helen is the next big thing on motivational speaking. So proud of her.
Did you hear what he said?
Angie Lynn.
Helen is the next big thing on motivational speaking. So proud of her. And Angie. Yeah.
Oh,
Isn't that nice to hear?
I love it.
This is what people want. People need people like you. And you've gone through the fire, you've made the changes. And now other women, men too, but you can start with women. I think you should. But lead them, impact them, show them the way. That means you're going to need to get in the trenches and put your programs together.
Yeah.
Put those things together, and then get out, promote it, get this thing launched. And you've got a wonderful, absolutely wonderful, beautiful future that's going to serve your purpose. It will serve wealth. It can certainly allow you to live the lifestyle you want. But you know what? When you're adding significance to other people's lives, everything else just happens. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I appreciate that. This is fun. Yeah. I mean, giving me a lot. I've been thinking a lot since our last chat. So, and it's kind of perfect time because it's something I've been toying with, and I just got to stop toying with it.
I know that we'll probably talk again in the future, but I will promise you this. I'll make certain that Danielle takes some time to get with you and just have a conversation with you and start that direction. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you for being on. I appreciate you.
Yes.
Have a wonderful Christmas. That you're my last interview for the year.
Yes, for sure. Well, hopefully we'll talk soon and maybe we'll have some good updates for you.
Appreciate it. Oh, guys, yeah, thanks for being on. Thanks for sharing with Helen too. I know it's tough. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
All righty. Bye-bye.